friends, welcome to my vlog. So today I'm going to be making a dish I call mac and cheese a la Quinn because it's kind of my go-to dish. Super easy, makes a lot of meals and is pretty nutritious in terms of college meal prep. So all it is shells, so pre-made boxed mac and cheese. Today I'm using Trader Joe's organic shells and white cheddar. I prefer to use cheddar-based sauces because they're low in lactose and I'm lactose intolerant. And then I always make sure that they use non-animal enzymes or vegetable rennet, so it's definitely vegetarian. And then spinach, which is high in iron, black beans, lots of protein, and I use Earth Balance vegan butter because again, lactose intolerant, so no milk. And so that keeps the lactose levels of the dish pretty low while still making it taste good. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. So the first step is of course to boil the water. But what I like to do while I'm waiting on that to happen is I'll go ahead and pop open the can of beans and drain them out. So of course, what I like to do is get that can opener going. Tested out before, and of course it is not working now that I am recording. I'll just pop this handle off. See if we have another can opener. Okay, you know what? Actually, broken one works perfectly fine because what I like to do is just crack it. So you have, you can see like that. Can you see? You can see the liquid coming out. Ooh, so there's, maybe you can notice a slight crease here that'll allow liquid to come out. So, because just it being a slight thing, you can hold it down and it's gonna start draining. So I like to leave those typically on a ledge where that can work on draining while I'm doing everything else. So if you're like me and you're like mad impatient, you might want to do some stuff to hurry the drainage along. And so shaking it out, really making sure you're getting this liquid. It's really important to make sure that the black beans are drained because otherwise your pasta dish in the end is going to be super wet. Because I can start to hear it, I'm going to go ahead and check on my water. As you can see, there's a lot of steam. It's at a light boil, but not quite where I want it to be yet. So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes before adding in my pasta. Okay, as you can see, it is steaming quite a bit. And that is a nice rolling boil. So it is time to add my pasta. So I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 boxes of pasta. Again, I'm doing meal prep for like most of the week. Okay, and now that I have it in, I'm going to go ahead and put that lid back on. So the pasta is going to need to cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna leave it as be with the lid on for 4, and then go ahead and stir it, and then depending on how it feels at that stir, I'll decide whether or not to put the lid on or leave it off for the rest of the boiling. So one kind of important thing I forgot to mention is once you add that pasta in, if you're boiling on high, you should lower the temperature to medium. If you forget, like I did, you'll notice that there is some bubbling. It's gonna foam up, and it might get a little warmer than you want it to, and that's how you burn pasta. So that's not good. So due to the whole forgetting to change the temperature thing, I have decided I'm gonna stir a little earlier than originally intended, just to try and get some of that foam down as soon as I start stirring it went away. And then I'm also gonna leave the lid off for the remainder of this pasta cooking. Okay. And so once you hit that 8 to 10 minute mark, it's time to go ahead and test a piece of pasta. So I will scoop one out. Nice thing with the slatted spoon like this is normally some will get caught. You want to give it a minute to let that steam come off, catch it in your hand, and then chew. If it's nice and soft, what this is, then go ahead and time to drain out your pasta. So because I'm doing a one pot dish, I want to go ahead and take advantage of the residual heat. And so I'm going to go ahead and put in some of my vegan butter to melt it so I can start sauteing up that spinach. Now I do go ahead and use an entire bag of spinach. That's part of why I use such a big pot. And why I use 2 boxes of pasta. Now, when stirring the spinach, I want it to go ahead and melt down. So it's really important that as I'm stirring, I'm letting as much of the spinach as possible hit the bottom, so it'll start to wilt and cook out. Alright, as you can see, the spinach is now nice and cooked down, so I'm going to add those black beans in. It's okay to have a little liquid, but here's where it's really important that most of the liquid did drain off, so you don't have a very soupy mixture. Now, you don't really need to cook the black beans the same way you would to cook the spinach down. So you're really just doing this to warm it and try and integrate that spinach in, keep it from clumping. And then once you feel pretty confident about that, you'll go ahead and add in your cheese powder. So I have 2 packets here. Toss those in. And then you start stirring and let the powder mix with the liquid from the vegan margarine and the black beans. As you can see, we now have that point where we have more of spinach and black beans in a sauce as opposed to the lumpy powder. So this is the point where I'll go ahead and turn the heat off, and I can reintegrate the pasta. As you can see, it does take a little bit of time and effort to start really integrating the pasta and vegetables, but the goal is to have it pretty evenly distributed. Once I know that it's all done, I'm going to go ahead and put it in some Tupperware, try and get it evenly distributed, depending on how many meals I want. I'll normally do about a scoop at a time because you'll find it's easier to get some of these veggies out front. So for me, this makes about 5 meals, as you can see, 5 takeout containers, because that's all based off of what I eat. And so that's part of why I'm a huge fan of this recipe. It's relatively easy to make. You don't need a ton of ingredients, 2 boxes of pasta, a bag of spinach, a can of black beans. You don't dirty a lot of dishes, just your spoon, your pot, and then your pasta drainer, plus whatever Tupperware you use. And you can get a relatively healthy meal for the whole week, protein, carbs, iron. And if spinach and black beans aren't your thing, you can always throw in other vegetables. You could do peppers or broccoli or mushrooms, whatever you enjoy. But I think it's a really easy way to get vegetables, especially if you're on a college diet, where you might not have a lot of time or a huge budget. You know, a thing of frozen vegetables can just be thrown in the pot after you boil your pasta, and you got some extra veggies in your meal. So I hope you enjoy, or try this out and this was useful. And yeah, if you have any tips on how not to break can openers, let me know. Thanks for watching.